I've been meaning to do a video on this insane hypercar now for a week. Haven't had the opportunity. There's been so much other stuff happening. I thought it was more important, but you know what? Now it's time. 1.9 seconds, 0 to 62 miles an hour for an SUV. Electric cars, wow, are laying the smackdown to old, slow, stinky petrol and gasoline, diesel-powered vehicles, which clearly are just dinosaur relics at this point. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. This channel is all about the future. And boy, is this car the future. If you haven't seen it already, damn. 1.9 seconds for an SUV, 0 to 60. Now, 60 miles an hour, that is, not kilometers. 0 to 100. Yeah, it's probably going to be about 2.1, maybe 2 seconds, which is insane. And you probably wouldn't have believed those numbers. In fact, there's a bunch of YouTube channels that sprung up over the last couple of years that said, right, these guys saying they're engineers, they're mathematicians, and they said the Tesla Model S Plaid wouldn't be able to do the time that it does. They said it wouldn't be able to do 9.1 seconds quarter mile. It's impossible. And it wouldn't be able to do 2 seconds or 2.1 seconds, 0 to 60 miles an hour. And they showed all these mathematics and had these whiteboards out and had like thousands of numbers scrawled all over the board. No one could understand what they were talking about because, you know, they're way smarter than us, but they all got it wrong because electric cars change the paradigm. Clearly, what was old and what we thought we knew is totally different now, isn't it? And honestly, you've got to be excited by this future, right? The fact that you can take home your car, plug it in to your solar panels, and then go and drive around like on a racetrack in an SUV if you wanted to. The point is, not that you're going to necessarily, but the point is that you can. I mean, if say the fastest hypercar in the world that's not electric pulled up next to you, you would know that your SUV can beat it. Just off the lights, you would know you can beat it. That's ridiculous. Probably even if it had 5 people in it, you'd still win. I mean, why would you spend $6.7 million on a Bugatti Chiron when it's slower than this? Well, personally, I don't know why you would. And frankly, even if I won the lottery, I wouldn't even think twice about not buying a petrol vehicle. Now, Draco Motors announced its next vehicle, the Draco Dragon, a new hypercar in an SUV format that can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 1.9 seconds. This is an American company, by the way, and the San Jose-based company was founded by Dean Draco, better known as the co-founder and CEO of Barracuda Networks, and Shiv Sikand, an electrical engineer and co-founder of IC Minaj. They repurposed the chassis of the Fisker Karma to create this electric vehicle. Using an existing chassis resulted in some limitations, but the real product in the Draco GDE was the impressive quad-motor architecture with each motor capable of a power of 225 plus kilowatt, giving the vehicle obviously a total of 900 plus kilowatt. They're thinking closer to 1,000 kilowatt because that's the conservative numbers, right? 1,000 kilowatts. That's mental. Imagine the torque. Imagine the pound-feet of torque. The newton meters of torque would have been absolutely ballistic. Now, this is a megawatt of power being delivered to all 4 wheels with incredibly well-controlled torque. That's one of the big advantages of EVs. Rivian O&T has proven that. Off-road, you don't need all these super expensive locking diffs, a lot of people spend tens and tens of thousands of dollars on all these special diff locks and all these things to try and get their SUV to go off-road well. But you don't need to do that. Rivian O&T was proven to be better than most of those without spending all that money doing all those things. Complexity. Remove the complexity, simplicity is better, right? What does Elon Musk say? The best part is no part. In 2020, Electric says they had the opportunity to get a test ride in the Draco GDE to experience this quad-motor powertrain with Valentino Balboni, the legendary Lamborghini test driver, behind the wheel on the Thermal Club racetrack just outside of Palm Springs, and they said they were extremely impressed. So this thing is a real vehicle. It's not a concept. It's not a fanciful Fisker car. Sorry, I can't help but laugh. I mean, there's so many automakers that are just like popping out of the woodwork and pretending they're going to produce some product and they never do. Anyhow, is able to send so much positive or negative torque at each wheel that they said it changes the game. The vehicle felt like a railgun on a racetrack when cornering hard. And for a vehicle this size, that is insane. Draco planned to build 24 Draco GDEs for over $1 million each, which sounds like an absolute bargain when you think about the performance of them. But the reality was, this vehicle was just a super expensive test bed for their impressive powertrain, which would then end up in a new electric vehicle, the Draco Dragon. And this is a new kind of hypercar. It changes the game. Draco says this: engineered in Silicon Valley and designed and crafted in Italy, the stunning all-electric Draco Dragon takes electric hypercars to the next level. Designed and built to redefine the way the world thinks about automotive performance, style, and luxury, the Dragon is an entirely new kind of hypercar, one that wasn't possible until now. Dragon becomes the first electric vehicle designed and engineered from the ground up by Draco, more specifically by chief designer Loïc Vermeersch and his Italian Grand Studio team when it comes to the design. Now, Vermeersch actually designed the Ferrari 458 Italia and the Maserati Gran Cabrio, but most recently, he designed electric vehicles like the Lightyear One. Now, this vehicle actually has gull-wing doors. Personally, I'm not a big fan of them. I don't know about you. Let me know what you think of them. I think it's just complexity for the sake of looking cool. But they also said, the cabin is wrapped in Europe's finest, most sumptuous leather, exuding luxury and comfort. We use only the best cows that we can find. No, you didn't say that, I just made that up. With a unique layout and easy ingress and egress. But more than just looking and feeling great. The 5-seat cabin is designed without compromise to its functionality, offering world-class passenger comfort and space, and ample luggage capacity in addition to world-beating luxury and performance. You cannot say that about any other hypercar on the planet right now. The Dragon builds on the experience gained with the GTE, taking advantage of packaging and design freedoms allowed by EV powertrains, things that simply couldn't be done with combustion engines, as well as the latest in composite manufacturing to build a vehicle unlike any the world has ever seen. Now, I think it's fair. I think if this vehicle goes to production and it delivers what they say it will, which it appears as though it's going to, it will be unlike any other vehicle the world has ever seen. Why do I say that? Well, its performance is going to make hypercars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris envious or embarrassed. One of the two, or maybe both. It takes advantage of the Drive OS quad-motor powertrain developed for the Draco GDE, pushing power, though now has been upped to 2,000 horsepower, resulting in insane performance. Top speed in this SUV is 200 miles an hour. It does a quarter mile in 9 seconds flat. Now, Draco also said its suspension will feature a 3-stage system that will be able to adapt to both roads and trails. As for price and availability, Draco is not going into details yet, but they'll reveal more information later on. Pricing. Draco said it will be competitively priced compared to vehicles like the Lamborghini Urus, which starts at $220,000 US. Now, in my view, if this thing costs anywhere near that ballpark for $220,000 US, it is an absolute supercar slayer. I mean, this changes the game. And boy, oh boy, is it an exciting time to be alive. Let me know if you won the lottery or if you just had a lazy $500,000 that you had to spend on some kind of supercar or hypercar or just electric car. What would you buy?